Hello and welcome to our game of War of the Burning Sky, an adventure path by EN Publishing. We are the Tuesday Nights, and my name is Justin. I am the GM for our game. Let's go through our players.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I play Myetharia, the High Elf Fighter Cleric.
Hey, I'm Cassie, and I play Winry, the Tabaxi monk.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Rev, the Halfling Thief.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I play Bryn, the half-orc cleric.
And I'm Rob. I play Jack, the high elf wizard.
And last week, as we left off, the torch was claimed by the group. Finally, at long last, Ruark having been confirmed dead and was buried. After resting and taking a small break to eat some necromantic cheese, the group head out from Foros Arendra, where they proceeded to lie to Fane of the rest of the Terranesti, but did at least tell them that the city was clear for them once more. As they looked to escape, they got in contact with Simeon, but quickly found that Shahalesti were pursuing them and are en route to intercept them at the Temple of Echoed Souls. Parallax gave an offer to Jack, and also mentioned that they could still fix the torch. And Bryn took the opportunity to tap Trilla's soul, which they had in the gem from the temple, put it back into the torch, alighting it with power once more, though still not perfected, and using the artifact to teleport the group back to Seaquen, ignoring or avoiding the burning sky effect on the way. As the flames wreathing the party dissipate, you find yourself standing in the middle of a new sort of square for the city. When last you'd left it, there was the main strip along the waterfront, and there was a lot of hovels and homes being built across the countryside a little bit more outside of town. It was in this region where the statue and the temple were erected by Jack and his assistants in past months gone by. And it is there that you find yourself appearing. It has become a little bit more busy since you left. There's more people here. There's more business happening. It seems like the city is sprawling out a little bit further. And as this eruption of flame happens in the middle of a relatively busy square, there's a lot of eyes staring at you with shock and awe as you appear in the center of the area.
So as soon as we land, I'm going to pull out my diviner. I'm going to cast Minor Illusion to throw my voice, and I'm going to project to everyone around and say, in a loud and confident voice, we are the protectors of the pass, and we have returned victorious with the torch of the burning sky. And I indicate to Bryn to hold it up.
Bryn, who had it up previously for casting the magic, you could see her arm was drooping before this.
I reach over and put my hand under your elbow, get it up.
Hold it up like Moses.
I say,
I'm going to interrupt you. There is a brief moment of silence, just complete silence, as this shock runs through everyone around. And before you can get another word off, even with your amplified voice, there is an eruption of cheers, of people streaming towards you, of hands clapping you, smacking you on the back, perhaps louder and harder than you would have anticipated or wanted. Rev finds himself in the most uncomfortable position of his entire life, and that is the object of attention and praise.
The hero!
Maybe we should have been quiet.
Nope.
We discussed this last week. They wanted to go in loud and proud about it.
Yeah,
I will say, just for clarity's sake, Jack is loving every second of this.
There's
Big old
chance.
smile on his
Oh, we
face.
There's chants rising up. Protectors, protectors, protectors of the pass.
I don't like this.
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't like this role.
Did Cassie come up with that earlier?
Nope. Viva la resistance!
If I hear a chant going, I'll use Minor Illusion to try to amp it up.
Oh, joy.
All right, let's get out
We
of
should get
here.
to Simeon. Yes, I'm with Rev.
Well,
You try
yeah,
to sneak away, but before you can get very far, you're lifted up in the air by all of the people
Yes.
and like
Oh,
bounced
no.
around on their shoulders, like crowd surfing around for a little while.
I'd like to take a mental picture of that happening to Myetharia and the extreme discomfort on her face.
No, I imagine it's like for both she and Rev, it's like people run up to like, yeah, and they're like, mm-mm. And they're like, okay.
Hands on swords instead.
I look over at Bryn and Winry. I'm like, this is the greatest day of my life.
Oh my gosh.
I am looking very unsure. Happy, but unsure.
After a few minutes of trying to disassociate the best that you can, or at least get away as best that you can, finding it difficult to disentangle yourself from all of these people, eventually...
sorry, go ahead.
There comes a group out towards you, and with a banging of a gavel almost sound that goes throughout the crowd, there's a loud voice that shoots above the din, and it is a shouting voice of the assistant at the Lyceum.
Dwarf guy.
Yep, and I totally had his name right in front of me.
Yeah, I
totally
can't remember his
forgot
name
about
either.
it. I was thinking of Simeon, but that's not who's going to do this. Kiernan Steckert. His gruff voice piercing through all of the rest of the noise shouts, "Silence! Let them approach! Clear the way!"
I mean, I'd
Well,
listen to that voice.
There's still cheering, and there's still some voices. There's a lot of sheepish looks as well as you're slowly lowered back to the ground. People look a little awkward to have let things get a little out of control there for a few minutes. But there's a parting of the way, at least, as everyone is waiting with bated breath, holding it in, at least while, the headmaster is here, effectively. But Kiernan Steckert, Simeon himself as well as Sheena Larkins, walking together in like a little group, basically, head their way towards you to meet, to talk. So, perhaps it's not the best choice to talk here, but we thought you could use some rescuing.
We appreciate it.
Fine.
This might not have been the best choice.
No, I fully disagree with that, in fact. I think that the people have what they needed. That is purpose and hope.
We were going to keep it on the down low, but it's pretty clear that Shahalesti knows where the torch is, so might as well overdo a negative with a positive.
I'm imagining that as the din is increasing, like it's probably spreading out, and there are people bringing like beer into the streets and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
like the little boys went running off to find their parents and like all of their people that they knew, like spreading the news as fast and as far as they can. It's spreading like wildfire through the city.
People are drinking and eating in the streets now. I'll grab a beer.
Yes, I'm not
Simeon.
sure if we relay the information to you in our last message, but yes, we're being trailed out of
Force Surrendra.
No, Forest Runner's a city.
Out of Isingbled first by
First.
the troops of Shah Halesti that was saving them. So basically, an entire army were tracking us.
Well, I did try to warn you a little bit that you might be popular, but I suppose that even I could not have foreseen how aggressive they might respond.
We were also being spied on while we were making our way out.
I bet the whole world's eyes were upon you.
Yes.
There have been many who have been searching for this relic for the months that it has been missing, ever since it disappeared.
Are there ways we
Well,
can prevent that from
unfortunately-
happening?
There are. And we do have some precautions I'm sure that we must take. He kind of looks pointedly towards Kiernan next to him. But in the meantime, the first thing we should do is get within Lyceum's walls. For there, we shall be safe from at least prying eyes as much as possible.
Lead the way.
Come this way. And he begins to move through the streets, and you, even as you make your way across the city, you can hear the noise and the shouts, the celebrations in your wake as they they basically just follow along as best that you can. There's something of a parade that's happening behind you as you go. There's a lot of attention. But as Ryan was kind of hinting towards, people with like deliveries of drinks and things like this to nearby taverns, instead of delivering the kegs, have instead decided to just put in a tap right there, following you along with like a cart with beer off the back of it that people are just taking. Basically, celebratory revel in your wake as you make your way through to Lyceum Academy.
I'm gonna say while there's all of this going on, I'm gonna like drop back with the like parade that's following us and like, I don't know, play a little music, or like if there's like an impromptu dance going on, I'm gonna jump in on it and just kind of like use whatever performer abilities I still have that I haven't gotten to use in a while, and just revel. Jack is having a blast.
Is Winry? I was imagining like dancers and stuff with like ribbons and stuff at certain points. It's like that scene in Aladdin, right? They're going down the streets
with the parade.
Yeah. So when
I was thinking of the end of episode 1, I think it is.
Oh yeah, that's a
Star Wars.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
cool.
Winry gonna do some like flips and stuff with some?
Yep, and I have some scarves that I'll take out.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Colorful scarves. So I'll pass that to.
So then I'll make note and say that whatever I'm doing with Winry.
I am, again, looking happy, but visibly nervous, and just trying to keep close to Kiernan and Simeon in the lead.
Yeah, I'll stay
Yeah, and
Still showing it off.
Yeah, for what that's worth, they are also trying to stay near you as well, knowing that they have what little protection they can offer, basically, to keep everyone a little bit more safe from prying eyes.
I have crushed that mug of
The
ale
beer.
and have another one now.
I do
People are
wish
just
that
people are just bringing. It's like I can just extend my hand and another one just kind of.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
Like
You extend your hand and drop the mug,
no
and then
one
close your
has
hand, and there's another one there.
yeah, someone just slips it in there. I think I could get used to this.
I wish that I had some parade music for you guys, but I really don't. It's making me a little sad that I don't have anything more crazy.
I'll fix it in post. No, I won't.
After what can only be described as a celebratory parade working its way towards Lyceum, you make your way into the walls eventually, at your own pace or care as much as you would like to. But eventually you find your way into Simeon's office, and it is there that the more serious discussions begin. Bringing you in, sitting you down, or leaving you standing, your own choice.
I'm dusting
Simeon-
confetti and stuff out of my hair.
Right. Simeon and Kiernan especially, along with Xavius, who you may or may not remember as well. But Xavius, as well as Sheena, all are within this small office, along with the rest of you. It's quite cramped in there, all together. But Simeon says...
Wait, remind us who Xavius is. Is that the tiefling?
Xavius was a old retired general that you guys had met way back when. And people didn't hit off too much with him, but he did speak at the first war council as well.
Yeah.
He's an old general commander from Dassen back in the day that talked at that time. Simeon says, well, we have plenty of news here for you, I am sure, but why don't we start with yours? Tell us.
Well,
What happened? Where are we?
We got the torch. Unfortunately, while we were able to fix it somewhat to allow us to travel here and allow Bryn to connect with it, it's not fully there. It's missing something. And so, as far as we are to understand it, the burning sky phenomenon still continues, and we can't teleport armies yet.
Unless we use a teleportation circle.
Interesting. Sheena kind of perks up at that, says, you have teleportation circle. There's some benefit there?
You have teleportation?
We have teleportation circle. The Wayfinders. You have some way to avoid the effect.
So
we will need to be in contact.
Well, I think you only got it from attuning to the torch, right?
Yeah, like I'm still learning it. I mean, we just made it work literally right before we showed up.
No, I understand. I think we have experiments to run. That's all that I am saying. This opens up new avenues.
And I understand that, like, yes, you guys trust us and you've sent us on really important things, but we're also just us. I'm also just me, but I don't think I can give this away without being hurt.
Please forgive me. I did not mean to mislead you. I don't mean that I need to take it from you. I think we need to be in contact, me and you, to work on this. That's all that I mean.
So we need to stay here?
I make no requirements, of course. I'm not the leader of this group, but I would greatly love Bryn's time, if possible, so that we can work on the future of our war.
I mean, that's why we came back here. Whatever you need from me, I'm sorry that it attached to me without me knowing that that's what it would do.
No apologies, Bryn. No apologies. And Sheena, let's let this lie for a minute. We can talk. You said the word teleportation, and it perked her ears. What can I say? Beyond that, though, tell me anything else. What else happened?
I guess we should probably give her any information
who's the fellow in your bag?
Oh, that's right. Well, we found.
Let's start at the beginning. I was going to start at the beginning, but that's
pull
fine.
out Cold Tongue's head.
But we're all children and are just like, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Actually, we weren't. We like started with the end, and now we're working our way back.
I was gonna try and start at the beginning.
There's a lot of shocked faces as you pull out Cold Tongue's head, and there's a lot of what he. And Simeon like reaches out and like pokes at it a little bit for a moment.
Gosh.
He's technically not dead.
Really?
He's being kept from death. If his body if his head reunites with his body, then he comes back to life again. He's immortal, basically.
He's
Apparently.
Immortal. Well, that answers a lot of our questions from before. He looks down at Kiernan as he says that. How did you learn of this? Were your sources reliable?
What's his name?
There was a man named
Ruark.
Ruark who captured Cold Tongue from Castle Korstal and the torch, and kept them for safekeeping.
With two assassins that he had hired, who were also with Ruark in Foro Surrendra. But those assassins had used up all the money they were paid and were
And
free
that's
with
where
information.
Fulton's body.
Yes.
Well, we were not entirely wrong, Kiernan. At least Castle Corstal was the right first choice, potentially.
Found some cool stuff there too.
True.
Like
this.
I mean, we have talked since you were at the castle. You did
I think
stop
we should
back
tell-
through here.
I think we should tell them about Shalosha and Kristen.
Katrina.
Kristen, sorry.
I was
Katrina.
actually just going to lead into that and say,
Oh, Ruark's dead.
before we get too far ahead of ourselves, Headmaster and all gathered, I guess.
Wait, did we want to message her first?
Why?
We talked about it in chat.
Oh, we talk about going to get her, but we need help to find her first.
I guess you're right.
We haven't had a chance to do any of that kind of stuff anyway. We're
busy.
We were assailed by a group of, I guess we could say, adventurers.
Vigilantes.
Made up of the combined forces of Ragos and Kalanis. And one of those number was Katrina. Now, in her defense, she did choose to fight with us and defeated the other Regessians there. But then she admitted that the reason that she was in Seaquen, not Gate Pass, was to spy on us and report back to Leska.
Here,
We believe that she
Kiernan
has
growling on
reformed.
the side.
I'll look at Kieran and say, we believe she is reformed, but we needed you to know.
But there are those in the Regessian Empire and those in Shahalesti who don't necessarily agree with what's the course of events.
That's true. We did learn of another Regessian current
General?
commander.
Yeah, I
General?
remember his name. I was trying to find
General.
his name, but I don't have it written down.
Magnus.
Magnus, thank you.
although
There was
I-
a General
I imagine-
Magnus that we met.
Although I imagine
Go ahead.
any goodwill that we have with General Magnus is since evaporated since we have the head of his emperor in our sack.
He doesn't need to know that.
Maybe. This General Magnus was...
Magdus.
yeah, I tried to say it, but for some reason my nasalness
You're fine.
got caught on it. This General Magnus was in rebellion against Leska. And Shalosha has communication with him. We may be able to find an ally there.
Yes, your previous report discusses this as well. Well, we knew that there was the possibility and likelihood of Regessian spies still lingering within Seaquen even after Lee and his events. I cannot say that I am thrilled to find out who. She will, if she ever returns, will have to be thoroughly discussed and interrogated before we ascertain the truthfulness of anything.
We told her that we were going to tell you. And I believe she is headed back this way.
We'll vouch for her. In any case,
Kiernan gives you a look of
maybe they won't.
over my dead body kind of look of like a as though your vouching means anything to me, but Simeon kind of pats him on the shoulder as he gives you that look.
I'll grin.
We also learned, I think, from I actually don't remember where we learned this from. That the torch is connected to several different planes and it being damaged has caused like a rift in the fire plane, which is what is manifesting here as the burning sky.
You learned that, by the way, by investigating the torch itself.
I learned that from investigating the torch.
We haven't even talked about any of these visions that we had in the temple yet. Or have
Yeah, we went to the temple first. Jack's a wizard now.
You're a
That's
wizard,
true.
Jack.
You're a wizard.
You're a wizard,
I am a
Jack.
wizard.
So we saw a lot of things in the temple, and we're not quite sure what's true and what's not. For example, I saw Rayland with Antinifi and Leska.
And Sniffy.
That's an iffy.
Antinifi and Leska fighting, I believe it was a gold dragon, right?
A dragon, at least. Yes.
A dragon.
spectral dragon. Yeah.
I think it's to think
He
that Rayland was...
stares at you.
I think it's kind of ludicrous to think that Rayland was somehow involved with Leska and Antinifi, but that's what I saw. We all saw it. We saw a lot of things. We saw, I don't know, battles. We saw meetings between Coltung and Leska. We saw the creation of the torch itself. When Trilla was killed, the torch was created. And then...
And so...
Go ahead.
Let him cook.
No, you could finish.
No, and so it feels very natural that Bryn would actually jump in here.
It just... The reason we think these might be true is because there was lots of visions that could be validated, like the one I saw of me and my dad, and there was one of Jack that he saw that he could validate, and so we were unsure as to whether or not we could believe all of them or just some of them, but the ones we could believe were more than the ones that we couldn't believe, and the ones we couldn't believe were ones we couldn't really validate.
Wow.
We were told going in there that we would see things that may or may not be true, so that's why we're doubting.
Also, at the end of all this, Trilla's soul stone was, I guess, reforged in the temple, and that's what we used to power the torch. I do have to wonder, though, by putting Trilla back in the torch, have we destroyed Trilla's soul?
I'm afraid I don't know that I have an answer for you there. At
I don't-
least nothing definitive. But I will say
Maybe someone who does.
it's only as destroyed as it was beforehand, you know? If what you tell me is true, at least, it already contained her soul.
Well, I guess that's good news. Relatively speaking.
I think from what I've learned from three Weeping Ravens, it depends on how the soul stone is made. Like, it could be made for a one-time use, or it could be made to be perpetually tapped. But since the torch feels almost complete, that her soul stone just might be one that can be perpetually tapped.
Tap that.
So not destroyed.
If this is what Coltung used in the past to use the torch, I would guess that it is a perpetual use. Because didn't you try a different gem before?
We tried a
this
different
one?
soul stone that we had.
And
One
it
that
didn't
you had.
work. So it's my guess that this is a perpetual use, but we won't know for sure.
And you know what? I think that other one was a single use because its partner was one that we got at Castle Corstal that we used in the sleigh to fly
That one.
away.
Sounds silly when you put it that way.
It really does.
Like Santa.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess it's perfect timing.
I suppose that's about it.
That is a lot.
Tyranesti are still there. They
So-
might now try to move into Fort Surrendra since we told them it's cleared out. But
We also
Potentially
have
new
this,
allies.
and I'll put Coltongue's head down on Simeon's desk, and then I'll reach in my pocket and, Mary Poppins style, pull out Bright Shadow and say, "This sword has."
I thought we buried it with him.
We buried
shoot,
that
we
with
did.
your work.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
buried
yeah.
it
I
with work.
crossed
I
off
was
my
like, is that
inventory
what I
then.
think you're talking about?
Did you
Guys,
unbury
I
it
ro-
Go
by
dinking
yourself?
around at night again.
Guys, I robbed the grave. Now's how you find out. And
That's
here's
so cute.
Ruvark's
That's
head.
alright. Yeah, I believe that.
That is a lot. A lot of actions, a lot of revelation. I dare say it will take me a little while to process, honestly. So I punched my microphone.
It feels like we have a lot of pieces, but don't know how they fit together. Like, we can't see the bigger picture.
Well, while you have been out and about, we have not been idle here entirely.
Entirely.
But
Mostly
a little
idle,
bit of vacation time.
Well,
but
many months have passed since you initially brought it here, but that initial book, that case that you had
oh yeah.
worked to bring here originally, of coded plans, that code has finally been cracked.
Wow.
It's welcome news.
I wish it was better news in a way, but it represents a new specter looming above us.
He's like,
You
it was
shark?
just a recipe book.
It's the best
How to make
cheese
Regessian
that-
chicken wings.
It's the cheese recipe.
Winry immediately steals it.
You use cream cheese for this one.
He looks, while he looked upset, concerned, I should say, not upset, about all of your news and all the new information that now is buzzing around. He looks almost wistful a little bit at talking about this book and the code that he had strove so hard to work on. But he says, well, the news
Oh,
is...
he was really excited to reveal this, and then we just dump all this other shit. And now what he has to say seems completely pointless.
Not pointless, no.
My
But-
thing's cool too.
Well, what I've learned is that Regesia, or well, more appropriately, Leska, has been working on some sort of weapon now for more than a year. You've heard the name the Scourge before, but it has a more real term. I feel they've co-opted the name in a way for their more recent events based off of the work that they had been performing. With you here, and what you've learned, as well as what I've found in this book, I fear it shan't be long before this weapon is turned against us here.
This actually confirms another one of the visions that we saw. We saw Leska and one of her top inquisitors discussing such a weapon, and that it was nearly done.
What if it's the shark?
The shark.
Well, I don't have the specifics of exactly what it is, or what it... Let it be said that it has the potential to channel arcane forces of monumental scale across space, vast space.
A giant shark as a submarine through the sky.
More like dropping magnified scale meteors on distant locations. Or similar.
Stinger missiles.
It has a way of, the best I can describe it at least, is it has a way of amplification of arcane spells, both in terms of severity and distance.
So they could attack us here from the comfort of their own home. Is what I'm getting.
Could certainly be within their grasp. That is at least the concern.
Do we have any countermeasures?
We have some ideas. We're still putting together the best of our ideas, but the best that we can do right now, in my opinion, is to keep our cards close to our chest for a surprise attack. We'll need to work with Sheena and with you, Bryn, for coordination here, because I fear we may need a larger force than just you. But
That might be nice.
we will need some time to both experiment, learn, and plan prior to execution. The more that we can keep this in, and I know Katrina is not here currently, but I am sure that there are still ears somewhere around this place, the more likelihood we have of success.
Surely there's
meantime-
got to be a better option than just waiting.
I'm not saying that we just wait. What I can do is set my most trusted guards to protect you, just in case. And within a few days, we should have the preparations in place to set up for a... And he looks a little bit excited, a little bit pleased. Honest-to-God war council. He smiles, self-satisfied to himself. The problem is,
Alright.
we need to be able to draw in forces. We need them here. And we need to prepare. We need to experiment. We need to learn how this will work the best that we can so that our plans go off unabated. If we
And
let
we-
loose before we are ready, we only seek failure.
And you want this to be discreet.
At least this part of it, yes. We don't want them to know that we know. If that kind of
That they're
shyly looks around as as though he made a small joke to himself. But yes, the more that we can keep a lid on the fact that we know of their weapon and are seeking a solution, the less likely it is that they will preempt and strike.
I'll
Hmm.
I'll reach into my pocket and grab my harmonica and do sending to Winry, and I'll say, Katrina also saw that vision. If we can't trust her,
I think she's going to let them know that we know about the weapon.
I don't think. How much does Katrina know about the weapon?
you're not in their head.
You don't know me.
I'll also say this though. They know we have this book, and I wouldn't be surprised if
They do.
they have some sort of contingency.
I'm not
And they-
expecting
yeah.
us to have forever. I merely hope that we have a handful of days to prepare.
Yeah, we would need to strike sooner rather than later.
Now
Give
that
me
they
ways
know,
They know
to-
we have the torch.
Yeah.
They know that we have everything.
Do you have any ways to stop them from scrapping on us?
We will have people watching. I don't have anything that immediately ceases the ability to scry immediately, unfortunately, not at my disposal. The more that you can stay within these walls of the tower, however, the safer that you will be. As soon as you go outside of these walls, you'll be at your own defenses, so to speak.
So you just want us to sit here at the Lyceum for the next few days?
I won't require it, especially not of all of you, but unfortunately I do think without naming names and pointing fingers, the torch needs to be kept safe. As safe as we can make it.
Understand.
We'll get you a taco, Bryn.
Tacos.
Well, at the very least, I can do something for you. It isn't everything, but you have had a visitor. I'm sure that he is looking forward to seeing you, and I will pass it along.
Thank you.
Oh, that's true. We now have the support of Dawson as well, don't we? That's got to count for something in all of this.
I was planning on bringing in your contact, Duke Gallo, into our war council.
And maybe if we...
Sterling gonna be there.
Fingers crossed.
He's now Gallo's personal guard.
Although he was told that he was gonna meet Myetharia in Gates Pass. So
Yeah.
he I think he's going to Gates Pass. So we'll see. What, Justin? What did you say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
No, what really is going to happen is Gallo's going to show up at Seaquen and be like, Sterling? Oh, he went to climb a mountain a couple weeks ago. We haven't seen him.
We haven't. Oh, no, that boy's down bad. That boy's down bad, and he is definitely going to Gates Pass to prove a point.
We can try and reach out to the Terranesi to see if they'd be willing to send anyone, but we did just lie to her.
We did, in theory, make allies of the monks of the Monastery of Two Winds and also the leader of Ostalin.
That guy was weird.
He was interesting. Interesting. Eclectic.
Different.
Is that the one that likes me a lot?
Yeah.
Did he like you a lot?
Yeah. I think he has
One of
to
the
pick
Yeah.
two
us.
girls to join
Oh,
the harem.
yeah.
Or
To join
was
the
it-
harem.
He asked somebody to join the harem. I don't know who it was.
So
I
one
think
of
it
the
was Winry.
One of the mysteries of that whole thing was there were war plans drawn up on that board where we fought Kayla.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was that about?
But she was linked to Ming. So where does Ming fit in all of this?
I understood it. I understood it more as Ming was just traveling through. I think he's not aligned with them as much as he's just has his own selfish ambitions.
And farms out his services.
Farms
as
out his
needed to-
service. Yeah, exactly. That's what he's doing now. That's why we can't find him. I think he wants to just get what he wants and remain unattached.
I believe last time we scryed on them, or at least on your brother, that they were near Ostalin. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any way to possibly divine the location of Eamon Ming?
Eamon Ming himself has been difficult to impossible to track, unfortunately. His assistant has proven somewhat more amenable. Thank you, Windows Security, for the loudest alert ever that popped up in my ears. The best that we can figure, for his assistant at least, is that they are moving northward, northwest specifically. Last we saw, they were past or over near Cinder.
I think that's the last time we saw him, too.
No, they were just looking last time.
They were in the mountains.
Yeah, I think they were,
Which is in between Ostal and Cinder, so you're both right.
they were heading towards Cinder.
Every now and then we get to pick up on something with him. Ming, however, is entirely, as far as we are concerned, off the grid.
I'll look at Rev to see what his reaction is.
I'm stoic at the moment.
Don't face Rev. Well, we'll be here at your disposal whenever you need us.
Well, what I would tell you is to prepare. Because while we are bringing an army, I do still expect, or hope, wish, for your surgical precision as well. We will have more discussions on this, but your part by retrieving the torch has not concluded your work, unfortunately. It has only magnified it. For all intents and purposes, I may be the voice sometimes of this resistance, but it is you who are the face.
How did that happen?
When you popped into the middle of a crowded square with the torch held high above your head, I think that was the moment.
That was the
Probably.
moment.
We really should have
Prepare.
thought that through.
That's the best I
People
can
know who the
say.
movers and the shakers are.
Prepare as best you can. There is to be a blitz attack coming. I want you to know in advance what to expect. We'll do what we can to provide for you to some. But the more advantages that you can give yourselves, the more successful you have a hope to be.
Good to know.
Got any magic items that are sitting around and gathering dust somewhere that we might make good use of? I am a
We might be
wizard
able
now.
to scrounge some things up, actually. We'll see what we can do before the onset of this attack.
Maybe the living weapon could use an upgrade.
Ooh, I need to actually check on that. That is a good point. I don't know what level
thanks for
it
that.
reaches.
I also just realized I don't have a feat that I'm working on.
No feats?
You don't
I
have
haven't
feet.
for a while.
He ain't got no feet.
Feetless.
Yep, feetless.
Feetless. What do you mean he ain't got no feet?
I guess just let me know when I need to be with Sheena to help test things.
Of course. We will be in touch. Trust me. We have plenty to work on. I just clicked the wrong person.
Can we have runes?
Of course. Anything that you require.
Not that the dome isn't comfortable.
But
There's
little
a
less
honey
space.
Ah, crap. You should have had a bonus to this already.
Oh boy.
It's not as big as you might want it to
Yeah.
be, though.
And here we were talking about you being a good DM earlier.
Right? While it's lit, it deals 2d6 fire damage instead of 1d6 fire damage.
Ooh, nice. That's nice.
For your info, 17 is the next benefit there.
Okay,
So
I'll try to remember.
Yeah, try to yell at me if I try to forget.
I can edit.
You probably can. Yeah, I'll deal with that afterwards if I need to. So from here, you have 4 or 5 days, give or take, 5 days, we'll say, to do what you want to prepare. Anything that you would like to talk about, do, go to, buy, etc. This is your chance. There might be more time afterwards, but
Probably should have planned a little bit.
I'm
Probably
thinking a little bit about some
I
of
don't need
these
to buy
riddles.
anything. I've got the torch.
That's true.
Well, I know what Reb would do. Reb isn't going to go read no dumb books.
He's going to the bar.
He's going to go to the bar, and actually with a purpose this time. I'm going to do my best to snoop out any kind of buys. And I imagine that some of that, because I have such a high profile, it'll be probably tough to...
I was just going to ask, first thing I was going to ask was, how sneaky are you trying to be? Because if you're not being terribly sneaky, I will say your bar tab is free on the plus side. On the negative side, you're going to have a little bit of a crowd periodically.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and, I mean, I'm going to remain somewhat seen, but try to get a good idea of who is there that I know and don't know. So this will be at the Royal, and maybe I'll go to what was it, Seafoam or something? That was the other place.
I have to open it. I don't have it in front of me.
The detritus, the flotsam.
Bunch of Little Mermaid terms.
Flotsam.
He's thrown it back
Flotsam and Jetsam.
to vocab quiz from yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Detritus, exactly. And
I just had to get that in.
Yeah, someone had to do it.
All of my noose with arcane abilities. Regrettably.
So, anyway, and in the case that there's someone that I think is shady, I will try to stealthily follow them. And I guess depending on the situation, might even use a little bit of intimidation, to get them to kind of spill the beans on what they're up to. So anyway, it'll be a little bit of that, a little bit of this. It doesn't have to be like a role play thing. It can just be like a
this is what you're up to. I get
a
it.
super cut, yeah.
Would you let any of us know sort of where you're going, what you're doing?
I think most of you guys, I think I'm a drunk.
That's sad. Okay.
I don't think we've ever seen you be drunk before. You just enjoy drinking.
I'm pretty sure he has been heavily inebriated on multiple occasions.
I have a tattoo. That is,
but not around us.
Yes.
You did that at the Royal.
I guess Bryn was there.
I would know that you're going to Royal, and
I
would ask, maybe look out for Clan Maloran or any word of where they went or what they may be doing.
By the way, I think Bryn would be somewhat aware of what Rev is doing, because I imagine she's hanging out with him more often than not, right?
Yeah, I did. But I'm going to stay in the tower this time. That's why I'm going to ask you to
mind your P's and Q's.
Don't drink too much and look out for Clan Maloran.
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 No, that's a person's name.
Mylorn.
Maloran.
Well, it's too bad you won't be joining me at the Royal.
I'll kind of hold up the torch in a sort of gesture. Bring me back a beer.
Does it feel weird with that thing?
It's a real big case of imposter syndrome going on right now.
I can imagine. You're the new emperor of Regasios, or empress.
Yes, let's not joke about that. We got Princess Shalosha 2.0 with us already, so.
Wow.
Yeah, it just seems like everybody's starting to get a crown or something.
I mean, you work for royalty, theoretically.
I'm out of it for a little while. Everyone's getting delusions of grandeur.
We're level 15.
Everybody's an heir now.
Yep.
I'll look. Are we outside or are we inside?
I'm going to very much follow the rules and be inside the tower.
It's nighttime, right? I'm
Sure.
improving this, by the way. I had no
Yeah.
idea I was going to do this. I hope you guys don't mind. If
I don't think
Sure.
you asked for
It's-
permission when you
It's
improv, buddy.
nighttime. Go for it.
Also,
you got-
are there
you can-
clouds or is
you
it
can
finally
say-
clear sky?
I
Clear
would
sky?
note.
to ask that question.
There's a few clouds in the sky, but very few. It is mostly clear, finally. But what I will say is, it has been cooler since you've returned to Seaquen than it was previously. It is like the weather is dipping back into coolness. Not like snow yet or anything like this, but like the briskness of fall as opposed to working its way towards summer, which we should be getting towards.
I'm gonna bookmark that and come back to it in a second.
Thanks for that
We're gonna
information.
circle back. So
Since we're
wait, hang
inside-
on. Well, I don't mean to break
You
your...
can say no to my
um,
improvisation. You can say no, right?
No, you're okay.
It's
We can
supposed to be summer, but it's starting to feel like fall.
And
We're
before
in-
with Lee, it was
We're in roughly
feeling
early
colder
to
too.
mid-May right now.
Okay.
And it is now feeling like we never actually made it to summer. It's like it started to hit spring, started to warm up, kind of plateaued, never really got hot, and it's starting to get cool again.
And
Why
with
did-
Lee, in addition to the storms, it was colder too, right?
Why was it cold
That was
before?
just in general. So
It
first
was
of all, it
cold-
was cold before because it was winter initially, but it was a harsher and more aggressive winter than before, and it lasted longer than it should have.
And there
But
was
then we did something in Dassen.
It was in Dassen, yeah. So the passes were impassable because of how cold they were.
Mhm.
Thus preventing the armies from crossing over into Dassen. But I don't remember doing anything to stop that, except it just seemed like they stopped. It stopped
When
being
you guys cleared things up with King Steppengard and all, with like the end of the adventure, effectively, the snows were just beginning to melt a little bit, and you're starting to see dirt, basically the earth, which was meaningful in Dassen, which is why it was commented on there.
So
Which
it
was
wasn't
kind of the
necessarily
beginnings
that we...
of spring, so to speak. Unfortunately, the beginnings of spring have given way to not summer, but in fact a plateau and fall back into autumn.
Yeah, so I do remember that being somewhat confusing at the time and like a loose thread.
Mhm.
Just like those war plans that we saw and many other things. Like, for example,
The
Pilus.
giant shark in the sky.
Yeah, and Pilus has a thunder child in a prison upon a tomb somewhere. We had to find out what up. We got to find out what Sleazeball was up to. But anyway, I was gonna do a little bit of like, improv, just like some cute things, quick here.
Do
Let
it.
me do a
Take
cute
over.
thing. All right. So we're inside. It's nighttime. I imagine this is like before I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Hey, Bryn, you don't have to be cooped up in here, do you?
To be honest, I kind of feel safer. From the little bit that I already understand of the torch.
The window. I'll look at the window. The window is kind of small, though, don't you think?
It is. I'm so happy I can finally see the sky since we've been in Sindare, and then
Well,
Isengladd has just been cloudy and snowy and foggy and yeah.
Here, come with me. I know a place that's it is safe, so you don't have to worry about that, and you're not technically breaking the rules. So, yeah, after all, Lyceum's my home. I know a lot of cool places, so I won't spoil the surprise. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Rev has a surprise for you.
So
I'll follow.
I
him.
imagine with my experience of being at the Lyceum, I know a very tall turret to which I can
absolutely.
probably sneak, either if it's guarded or something. Then I imagine I know a way to sneak around those guards without being noticed and et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, I managed to sneak her up to the top of a turret on the Lyceum?
Just
is wonderful.
Are the
evade
star-
your guards to the best of your ability. Oh, there he's back. Okay, he froze for just.
But how does it work with his really good stealth and my 0 stealth?
Very carefully.
Yeah, without wearing your bulky armor necessarily.
True.
If you didn't want to.
Oh, yeah, we're
you
not-
Could.
No, I'm not gaving it here. Let's be honest.
Oh, come on. This is downtime. We're inside the Lyceum. You're wearing a nice blouse.
It's okay.
Wearing a linen shirt. Some trousers.
Okay.
Bryn probably also wears trousers.
Mhm.
Right?
He wears the
Yeah.
pants. Yes, of course.
You can take the
Yes.
I imagine you do take the torch with you. Just
I
'cause.
do.
Not that it's gonna matter later. So what does the sky look like, Justin? Upon this turret?
So there's some wispy clouds in the sky, but for all of the light down below, so to speak, amongst all of the celebratory revel that's still happening amongst the city, I'm assuming this happens like first night, give or take. There's still like the celebrations happening in the streets. It's distant from where you are to some extent, a little bit quieter. It's like background noise more than anything. But there's lights all throughout the city because of that. But looking up, you can still see the stars in the sky clearly. It is one of the darker nights of the year, actually. The blue moon, just a sliver, a waxing sliver, but still, and the red moon, a near full new moon. In fact, tomorrow night will be a full new moon for the red. As such, it is one of the darker nights in terms of moonlight that there is throughout the calendar year. The stars, because of this, are the most prevalent that they can be in the night sky.
And do there happen
Would you like
to be,
anything more specific than that?
do there happen to be 5 stars that are
Yeah, what do
hanging up?
What do I see with my previous vision?
If you're looking
unquote.
specifically for your stars, as much as you can,
Mhm.
you search for your stars, and it is not hard to find them. They are some of the brightest stars in the sky at this time, especially with the moons as dim as they are, and with their relative proximity towards the moon in the night sky. They look dazzling currently. You do have one interesting note. First, Keth's star has once again moved close. It has made its way towards your group that you've been following in the night sky. But more interesting, a stranger, or a star that you haven't kept your eyes open for a long time, catches your eye more aggressively tonight than it has in the past. A star that had gone very dim for the last year, has begun to spark a little bit in the sky. Not as bright as it used to be, not anything nearby, but for some reason, it catches your eye that his star has reappeared.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So I'll clock that, and then I'll say, Rev, this is fantastic. I know I've talked with you guys about sort of how I see us in the stars, and it sounds hokey and everything, but I'll try and point out to him where our line is and point out those 5 bright stars. They may not look special to you, but in how I see the sky, that's us, and they're brighter than they've ever been, so we must be doing something right.
Mm. Well, that's good to hear. So those 5 stars are us, huh?
I mean, that's the feeling that I get when I see them. I've never really been able to explain it, but some
Are the
stars are just they're linked to a person.
Are all the stars linked to a person?
No, I like to think so, and I can only pick out those people that I know. I'm sure if there's other people like me, different stars are more important to them. But to those people who are important to me and are part of my life and my story, these stars stick out.
So that I'm guessing you wouldn't be able to find Eamon Bing's star up there, huh?
I don't know. I mean, I think I've only met him, seen him in passing the one time, or have I even done that?
Yeah, it was
like when we first came to Seaquen.
That's okay. It was a stupid idea anyway. Besides, I don't want to
It's
ruin your
not-
night with all of that.
I
Well,
can try
I just
and keep
figured
an
you
eye
would.
out.
I just figured it would be a good spot for you, safe within the walls of the Lyceum and exposed to the. It's a little exposed to the elements, but at least you have a clear view of the sky, and it's probably the best view you're going to get of the stars at the Lyceum, aside from the observatory. There it is, but something about the observatory just isn't quite the same, I think.
I love it, Rev. Thank you.
Cool.
And
Well,
I
you know how to get
visibly
back
look
and,
more relaxed. Yeah, if I forget, I could probably just fly down or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess we could have flown up here. Well, thanks for
Probably, yeah.
thanks for humoring me. And
Well,
my,
it would've-
sneaking.
It was kind of fun to try and sneak.
All right.
I still
well,
gotta get better at that.
It's a lost cause. Just quit.
I know.
Yeah, sure. You'll get there. See you later. I got some business to do. And with that,
Don't
I'll
forget,
go and.
as he's walking off, I'll say, "Don't drink too much. Look out for Clan Malorn."
She turns around to say that, but you've already Batmaned out.
Batman. I will stay up there for a good portion of the night.
Right. You spend the next little while staring up into the sky, and you can't help but feel your gaze wander every now and then back over to your husband's star on the distant part of the horizon. And while it's there, it's not bright, and in fact, in the position that it is, it's almost like it's flickering enough that you can just see it and not see it, see it, not see it, as though it's either embattled, endangered, or fading.
Can
What?
So, okay.
Do
So I
it.
didn't prepare spells this day, so I haven't prepared scry, so I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay,
The
I'll
rest
be
of
right
the
back.
night, though, that you're up there, you can go ahead. Is peaceful, is calming, is relaxing. As you stated, it's also the first time in quite a while that you have seen clear sky, enough that you can do this sort of sky searching.
I was waiting for you guys to get up to the turret, and then Ryan be like, "What's the sky like, Justin?" He'd be like, "Just clouds. It's full of clouds."
I mean, I was not prepared for that, but I can improv also, Ryan.
Oh man.
Well, you said that there's like revelry going on the first night, right?
Absolutely.
Then I for sure grab Winry's hand and also offer to Myetharia, we're gonna go celebrate and party it up a little. Would you like to join?
Free drink.
Yeah, free drinks.
Free drinks is right.
Sure, I'll come on for a little bit. I don't want to stay out too long. Don't want to leave Bryn all by herself.
Okay, let's go. Oh, I wonder how long it's been like that.
Our computer was unplugged.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
I'm
It's gonna
die
vanish
here.
again.
The poor battery
Yeah.
is starting to not make it all the way through a session, so I got to plug it in now.
Uh-oh.
What?
So yeah, with whatever revelry is going on, I'll just want to follow the crowds. If they go into like a bar and there's dancing, I'll definitely ask Winry to a dance. And we can see how much of my performance sticks around after the wizard shift.
The wizard shit. Excuse me.
And I think I'll eventually get to a point where like. So here's how I see it going. We're at like a bar, a tavern, and I'm out dancing with Winry. We're having a lot of fun. And I decide I need a break. I'm a little winded, so I go to the bar to get a drink and maybe get a drink for Winry too. And like 3 or 4 guys sidle up and they're like, "So, did you actually do this and this?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, actually what really happened is this and this and this." And they're like, "Oh, that's not what we heard." And I was like, "Trust me, I'm there. I was there." And I think that turns into Jack getting kind of stuck at the bar and just like telling every single story that anyone asks about. So like eventually there's like a big group of like 20 people that are just circled around him and he's just like standing on a chair and just telling every single story.
Do you look comfortable, like happy?
I would say you've probably never seen Jack happier than in this situation.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do that. And while you're like, you have all these people congregated to you, I'm gonna start looking at them for fun things.
I was going to say, you're going to see what you can steal while they're distracted?
They had
I mean,
real
borrow.
Kanye West energy there for a second. I'm gonna let you finish, but
But
But keep them distracted.
so the majority of these people
townsfolk, they don't have it.
are workers.
She called your shit.
Need to go to a more expensive bar.
That isn't to say that they're completely lacking in anything of any interest, but probably not the sort of things that Winry would have a lasting interest in. For instance, steal somebody's like their locket or something that they have, like something that they have in their pocket, this sort of thing, and you kind of bust it open. It's like, oh, it's a picture of his wife. Like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. Kind of close it back up, slip it back in. Move on to the next person. Find that he has like his wedding ring is off and in his pocket, and you take that, and you realize that you're not sure. Well, that's the question. It's like, is this someone who
Can I
is
try to
out?
sneak it back on his finger?
You could try to. You know, I'm gonna make you make a sleight of hand check for that. I'm curious.
I love
how
you.
this
That is
gonna turn out.
amazing.
It's gonna be so cool when she like
17.
oh,
Total?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, like,
No, fortunately, there's enough of a raucous around, and like there's this storytelling that Jack is performing, and it distracts people enough that you kind of bump into this guy and slide the ring onto his finger, and he doesn't notice at first, and you kind of watch him, and after a minute, he looks down at his hand, like he starts fiddling with it without paying attention, basically, and then looks down at it and looks shocked, like surprised, and he kind of glances around for a split second. And then you see him like slowly move it on and off his finger a little bit, and you can see like the tears forming on the undersides of his eyes a little bit as he's looking down at it. And you realize that this is not the man who was trying to cheat on his wife, but instead had lost his wife and was retaining the ring in his pocket as a memory. And so now this man, looking down at his finger, not like sadness, these are like happy tears in a way. Like he's choking up as though she's still there, kind of thing. Like the little reminder that he got that, she's still around.
Wow.
I will give him a beer, and then I will sit down and I'll just watch Jack having lots of fun.
So while she's watching for any odds and ends, I'm watching for any suspicious characters or people who are listening, like, in a prying way. Or asking questions in a prying way to get information rather than just to hear a story.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Winry,
characters.
I do want to get one roll from you, just because I'm curious about one other thing that could happen. Could you roll an investigation check for me? Myetharia, you can actually roll one as well, but that's for entirely different things.
Okay.
16?
Yep.
Okay. So you find of your not very interesting, but kind of interesting things that you find while rifling pockets throughout this place. You run into one halfling that you kind of rifle the pockets of a little bit. And within it, you come up with what is effectively a newspaper clipping. And this newspaper clipping has a very young-looking, clean-shaven halfling who looks very athletic, but looks kind of familiar to you in a weird sort of way. And it takes you until you read the bottom of it, the story of it down below, for you to realize that this is an old clipping from a long time ago. And it talks about rising netball star Rayland at the bottom.
Who is this in the pocket of?
It's a random halfling that you just were kind of feeling through people's pockets. And
Random.
the picture, or kind of like, it clearly has been like folded and kept track of throughout a long time, this sort of thing. It's a very old newspaper clipping, and somebody has brought it basically here. You're the one who wants to find interesting things.
I know, but usually I put them back.
The last thing that you find that might be of more interest to you, or maybe less interest to you, is a small shiny stone. And when you pick it up, it turns green. It was black when you picked it up. It turned green in your hand.
What if I put it on the table?
As you set it on the table, it slowly fades back to black.
Mood ring, oh mood ring.
Cassie's jam.
I'm gonna keep that, and I'm gonna keep the newspaper clipping.
Okay.
I only rolled a 9.
Okay.
Wait, look at the surprise on our faces.
I was hoping for perception or insight, but he asked me to roll investigation. So
Investigation is like
0
feeling out
plus-
crowds and
plus
finding
0
information.
Investigating.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're good at it. It just matters that you're trying.
Thanks.
So when you start trying to hear,
try.
you start trying to hear news from other people from more distant lands, this sort of thing, as much as you can pick out. The only things that you can find that are particularly of interest is that it seems that the Scourge has made its way, so to speak, out towards Shahalesti lands as well. That there are being elvish people who are being grabbed in the areas that Regesia has pushed into. And some of those elvish people are being brought back as well.
Interesting.
So I'm going to say that I'm at the bar, bunch of people around, and then one person in the back of this group is like, Justin, what was the name of the battle at Gallows Fend?
The battle for Gallows Fend.
No, it had a name. It was Battle of something Fields or something, I thought.
Yeah, it had like a
You
veil.
gave it
It was
a
like
name.
veil something.
To some extent. The line at Othral Vale.
Othral veil sounds
Okay,
right.
no, they would say Gallows Fend then.
Yeah.
So one person like yells out, tell us the one
I feel
about
like you did give it a name.
the Battle at Gallows Fend. And then like one other person further down is like, yeah, do that one. And like a bunch of people start like jumping in and like asking for the story. So like I'm gonna be like, but you're too I can't speak that. And I'll kind of like, instead of staying at the bar, I'll be like, 1 second. And I'll move past everybody to like, if there's like a stage or if there's just like a bench against the wall where someone could stand up and be like above everybody, but like securely positioned. I'll move over to that. Let's say it's that bench. That makes more sense. I'll head over to this bench against the wall, stand up, do the minor illusion thing and throw my voice and be like, there we were in front of Gallows Fend. The gathered forces of the deceitful, the confused, the control, the manipulated King Steppengard. And like, I'm just gonna tell like
You're gonna bard it up.
I'm gonna tell the entire story.
Spin a yarn.
Yeah, from that point through everything. But like, I'm not trying to be like super, instead of being like really dramatic and like performative and like throwing in a bunch of magic spells, this is more like I've had 5 or 6 beers and I think this story is really cool and so everyone should hear it. And I'm just like going off. And it might not make a lot of sense sometimes. But I like to think that like the energy that I'm putting out and everyone's like excitement and interest in the story, I'm able to get most of the people in the tavern like listening and getting amped up and asking for more stories and stuff like that. So like the one time where Jack's not really trying to put on a performance, it goes decently well and has a great time telling everybody all of his favorite stories of the adventures that he's been on.
You're begging me to make you roll for it, but I'm not going to.
No, I'm begging you not to.
It's the Battle of Othral Vale is what you named those 2 episodes. So
That was
That's
just a
what I
line on the
called it?
map. It was just a
That's-
line on the map
the Battle
Where
of
we-
Othral Vale.
where we lined up.
Yep.
The things that I remember, I am just always astounded.
So are we.
Should be. Should also take it with a grain of salt.
So eventually the stories will wind down and it'll get late in the night and I'm sure people are getting drunk and either want to go on to something else or go home and go to sleep. So as things like calm down, I'll like take a deep breath and be like, that was awesome. And then I'm going to be like, oh crap. And I'm going to run over and try to find Winry and be like, I totally ditched you. I'm really sorry. And there's a lot of stories I wanted to tell. And they just kept asking for stories. And
Yeah,
no drink.
we've done a lot of cool stuff, and thanks for apologizing, but you really did a great job distracting us too. I found this
Ooh.
cool ball,
Whoa.
and then I'll show him how when I put it down it's black, and then I pick it up it's green, and then I'll hand it to him.
Okay, I'll take it.
Is it green?
It does not. It is not green anymore. I have to think of what color it would be.
What?
I was like, damn
And
it.
Jack would know what color it is because he is not colorblind. This is my real fantasy.
I think that it. Yeah, right. It becomes a very deep purple.
I'll be like, what does that mean?
I don't know, but it's cool. Where's Myetharia? Myetharia, hold this.
Yes. Jess is gonna have to give us all our colors.
No, from a deep purple, it becomes a slate gray.
Kind of like spit.
Oh, that track.
What is this supposed to do?
I don't know. It
We don't
changed color.
know.
And then I took it from you and I put it down on the table.
It becomes black again.
It stays slate gray.
We need,
I
You're
am
the
a
same
table.
as a table.
we need more people, obviously.
Checks out.
Oh, I also found this other thing. Then I'll slide the newspaper thing on the table. It's Raylan, and I found it in someone's pocket, a halfling's pocket. I think I should give it to Rev. I don't. It doesn't have any information on it, but it has a picture of Raylan.
How would some random
I don't know.
halfling be carrying this around?
Maybe Raylan was like his idol. I don't know if it's
Ooh,
Like,
maybe his grandfather.
creased and folded. Maybe that me. Oh, I need to go find that guy.
How old do I look in this picture again? Like
Very
how-
young.
Very young. Okay. Yeah, so I thought like probably in the like
Teens. Yeah, teens, roughly.
Okay. All right. This before I had to go off to the school in Dassin.
For your
also-
perspective, yes.
I was gonna say, but also no, because this is Raylan we're talking about, not Rev, right?
Yes. Well, for sure. Whatever.
I
Whoever.
mean,
Well, I think it's worth
I know,
clarifying.
I'm just
But
playing. I'm just playing. Yeah. No. It's from. Well, we'll see. I mean, who knows? I'm asking questions, and I feel like I will probably just have to wing it if you guys show it to him.
I don't
really
usually
know.
take things.
Yeah, you usually give them back.
Oh. I didn't want to give
You
this
could-
stone back because I didn't figure it out, and now it's more confusing than it was. And I feel like Rev could be, this newspaper could be really important to Rev, so I didn't want to give it back.
So I have a couple of things to say here. On the stone, how would you feel if that was your stone and somebody snatched it out of your pocket?
I feel like you're trying to be my mother right now, and I don't know how to feel about that. You
I'm
weren't
just asking you
Bryn.
a question. I'm genuinely asking a question. I don't care what you do with it. I'm just
No.
trying
I want you to be my friend right now.
Jack, could you use your amazing abilities and see if this stone has any magic properties?
It turns purple when I hold it. It's magical, let me tell you. If yes, big
Find out.
magic time.
What it's doing?
I guess so.
to identify it.
Kind of like stumble over to a table and start laying out the
Winry,
the ritual to cast identify.
why don't you find that halfling and pretend as though it fell out of his pocket and say, "Oh, this fell out of your pocket. But I happened to see what this was, and how do you know this person?" And you can strike up a conversation with him on it.
I should have
Find
done
that
that
might
last time, but
And why
need
can't
to
you
go.
still do it? Let's go find him then.
For what it's worth, the stone in Winry's hand is slowly turning orange.
See?
I'm
We're
dying
into
to know
orange.
these colors.
It is
Well,
moving.
while
On
I'm
its,
setting
on
it,
its way to
while-
orange, it's kind of like settling in the yellow area, and then it's like slowly moving towards orange.
It's changing
while I'm
colour.
setting out the components for the ritual, I'll be like, Winry, do you want to give it back to the guy?
No.
I didn't think so. I'm going to go back to laying out the ritual. And every now
Myetharia's
like
making me feel bad, though.
I wasn't trying to.
I know,
Listen.
but you're making me think about my conscience and what's right and what's wrong, and stealing things from people is wrong.
Bright orange. Neon orange.
You looked up the colors.
No, I think,
starts to
I think,
smell
I think it's
orange,
actually
it's still
hovering
orange.
more in yellow currently. We'll see.
While I'm setting out the components, I'll be like, as far as Rev is concerned, I don't know. He has kind of a weird relationship with Rayland. So maybe he'll like this, or maybe he'll be ambivalent like he is with most things. I would lean towards that direction. Just if I was a betting elf, that's where I'd go.
Maybe I should give it to Bryn to give.
Also, Winry, there's something else that you stole and never returned. My heart.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh,
continue laying
how
out
many
the component.
drinks have you had? Oh.
So many.
I
Yeah.
kind of wonder what the color of that stone would be if Jack had it right now.
It was a deep
After-
purple.
You're saying that.
Well, anyway, as you guys continue your conversation, I'll cast Identify on it. Is it a mood stone, Justin?
Basically, yes. It is a
Alright.
stone that can cast, or like it constantly has like detect emotion out, basically, which is not actually a real spell. But it detects the emotion of the creature that is holding it and changes to a color that is suitable for their emotions.
So what does green mean?
Green is excited.
What does orange mean?
Humorously, I started with green and then looked up what the colors actually were. Turns out orange was excited. Green is content. I was like, good enough. I'm going to leave it with that. I'm not going to change it. But in my mind, green was excited at the time that I said it, which is why I said that it was turning orange.
And what's yellow?
Yellow is anxious or worried. So when you guys started talking about having to give back the stone and you were making her feel bad, it was slowly turning yellow.
I wasn't making her feel
That's
bad.
great.
What about purple?
Well, purple and kind of the deep red and purple kind of mix that Jack was giving off is intense passion, and purple being aloofness. So it was a
drinking.
mixture, right, of being drunk effectively and passionate at the same time.
And slate gray is nothing.
Slate gray, not necessarily is nothing, but it is stoicism. It's lacking of passion, so to speak. It's
We should make
Blank
Myetharia
face.
carry it all the time and just get excited whenever it changes. Throw a party.
And Rev.
Because you know it's going to be slate gray all the time.
Or Rev.
Yeah.
Do you
We should like
explain the
slip it on their
colors?
person as like a joke so we could see like the stone, but they don't know it's on them.
We all just laugh at it whenever we see it.
See if we
Ha
can
ha ha, you have no emotions.
make a game to see who can make it change colors.
Oh my gosh, that would be really fun. That'd be a fun long car ride game.
Myetharia, for what it's worth, when you held it and you looked at it, it was mostly gray, but you could see just a slight tinge of green in there.
Aw. I
Aw.
appreciate that, Justin. Thank you. It's like, come on, just the littlest bit of something. Not devoid of emotions, guys. She just hides them.
Is the bar
Way
empty?
long enough.
The bar is not empty. The bar will not be empty.
I find the person who had the stone.
If you tried hard enough, you might be able to.
I'll give it back,
Okay.
Where are you
I won't
going,
make you roll
Winry?
for that.
but not. I'm gonna give it back.
Oh, I can help with that.
Yeah. Tell them they dropped it.
I'll stand up on a stool and be like, hey, whose stone is this? It got dropped.
Hey,
Mhm.
how do you know this person dropped it?
Be more careful. Whose is this?
Slowly shuffling forward is a abashed looking younger man who takes the stone from you.
No, I bonk him on the forehead with it first, and I go, "Be more careful, buddy. This is a
so-
cool ass rock."
Sorry, I will.
It was purple when I held it. You know what that means? I forgot what it
maybe.
means, but it's cool.
The stone turns bright yellow as soon as you give it to him.
I'm like, I think that's a good thing. And I'll muss his hair and push it back into the groove. I'm like, I probably shouldn't drink more.
No, you're not going to drink any more tonight, I think.
Well, unless there's
Maybe
anything
Sean
else
will take care of you.
specific.
That's true.
Oh, I guess we should wrap up the picture first before moving on. Did you want to do anything with the picture? You were gonna keep it, you said?
Should we find the person who had this and talk to them?
It's up to you.
Do you want to give this back too?
No,
Then
but
no.
maybe the person that had it has information.
I think they might just be was it netball?
Yep.
I think they might just be a big netball fan.
I want to stay like near that person and see if I can hear anyone say their name.
Okay.
Yeah,
NPCgenerator.com.
I think there's a child upstairs waiting for your attentions.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Annoyingly.
Just continue to ignore.
Just push through.
He's gonna just get louder. Chill. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna do anything else. Myetharia, you gonna do anything else?
No, but eventually I'll probably sooner rather than later I'll head back and just hang out with Bryn just to keep her company. Nothing special. Just so she's not totally alone in the tower.
Did I snoop out any spies, or are we just gonna kind of? I mean, I imagine this is something I'm doing over the course of the week that we have downtime.
Yep. Exactly.
So-
I was gonna kind of recap at the end.
Okay.
She's warming up a heat up animal thing, stuffed animal for
Oh, we had one
our
of those.
children. Who apparently required it reheated 3 hours after their bedtime.
You should be asleep.
Put you in the microwave.
Kind
Wow.
of a little
I think
grimmer
that-
than
What's that from? You shut up or I'll put you in the microwave.
It's for Ricky Bobby.
Oh yeah.
Which we've quoted a ton tonight, so clearly we need to watch it. It's not called Ricky Bobby, it's Talladega Nights.
Ricky Bobby's in the title, I think.
It's a ballad of Ricky
Ballad.
Bobby, but your parents call it, let's watch that Ricky Bobby.
I think that as we kind of like start making our way eventually out of this bar, I'm like starting to head back towards Lyceum. Like, I think I've had enough for one night. But then I'm gonna see another bar where there's a lot of people like partying and dancing and talking. I'm like, I think I'll try one more. I think I don't know if Winry will stick with me, but I think I'm just gonna stay out all night and just talk and tell stories and drink and
get
dance
plastered.
and
Yep.
Yeah.
have fun.
Myetharia, have any other plans? You said you were
No,
gonna go back and go hang out with
Yeah. As I say, I would try to persuade Jack to not go to any more bars because warning him of a headache in the morning and then just be like, never mind. Just letting him.
They got
have
potions
his
for that.
fun.
It's fine.
And then heading back.
You okay over there? For what it's worth, eventually you can hear someone kind of hanging out near this halfling as they move from place to place a little bit, kind of get drinks here and there, move around following the celebrations. And you find out his name is Anders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the rest.
Winry, you had your headphones off, but I said that we're gonna kind of make our way back to Lyceum, but then I'm like, nah, I think I want to go hit more bars and have more fun. I don't know if Winry's gonna stick with me or go back.
Yep, I'm not gonna leave you alone.
Oh, but is it like the begrudging, like, ugh, all right, fine, another bar?
I'm
Is it
ready
like,
to go to bed, but
yeah,
That is Cassie after she's had a few drinks. It is.
It is?
I'm ready to go to sleep.
it's my
No.
wife after having a few
Haven't-
drinks.
My friend now.
still having fun.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, the rest of the night goes to each of your relative standards. The alcohol is flowing. It is flowing freely, especially for you and your lot, as you are regarded as the heroes that you have returned to this city being. The rest of the 3 or 4 days after this, as we're going to go ahead 5 days into the future for this going forward, passes largely without any serious incidents. Rev, you are able to uncover 2 people that you are concerned of, and you bring them to the attentions of the authorities, where they get brought in for more thorough investigation and interrogation. You kind of hand it off at that point once you've brought them in, or referred them to be brought in, I guess I should say. And little to no is really, nothing is really brought up about this or comes of it into the future. And actually, after the first one, they decide to not even bring in the next one, but to intentionally try to start spreading falsehoods in their vicinity in the future to the best of their abilities. Whether or not it's a real spy or not, but they're going to start sending out someone to kind of befriend them, hang out with them, and try to spread false information as much as possible.
That's a great idea. I love that. That's smart shit.
As the rest of the week, or the week and then the beginning of the following week, so to speak, like the 5 days passes, I will have all of you, if you would like to tonight, you can go ahead and give a feat learning roll check if you could.
Can I roll and just tell you what it goes towards later?
Yep.
That's what you've been doing this whole time.
He hasn't done anything yet. He finished his
Oh, I
last
thought
time.
you have.
He has an idea for what he might want to do, but he has not committed to it at this point in time.
Apparently, I have an idea. Not a clue what that is, but
You had an
get
idea
back
to try to gain advantage on initiative rolls as a growing and budding connection with chronomancy.
yeah.
Oh.
I am gonna think about it.
Yep, that's
That
fine.
feels like another one that would be another
Just-
year and a half before I get it.
Just roll a just a straight 20 for now, and we'll decide what your modifier is to it later.
Ooh, it's a 16.
Can we trade since you don't know what yours is?
Oh, what'd you roll? A
Okay.
6?
All right, so Bryn, yours is dexterity.
So it's a 6.
Yep. 6. Got
Mine's
it.
9.
At least you're consistent.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, this time
9.
I rolled a 4, but
Well,
it's
good
9.
news is 9 is enough for you to finish yours finally, as it has been a very long time.
What is it?
As Myetharia continues
Don't
her
tell
trend.
us until it happens at battle.
Okay,
Fine, okay.
What?
never mind.
No, what is it?
She
doesn't wanna
never
know.
tells us until she can use it.
That's one of
I
the
told you
rules.
last time. I told you last time, and I would have told you this time, but you don't want to know.
Oh,
I
my
want to know.
goodness.
Plug your ears. What was it?
It's basically one of the things that Rev can do, which is why I've been training with him so much, where if he attacks someone, he can disengage as a free action from them in the same turn. So I can basically
disengage
disengage and
piece.
move away from them without getting an attack of opportunity from them if I've even tried to hit them.
The
That's
disengage
nice.
piece of the mobile feat.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Wait,
Nice.
so now you have that?
She was learning
Yeah.
it from you.
Just that portion.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's cool. That's a really good
Not
one.
that I'm like, I need that. I keep going down because people keep hitting me.
It is, yeah.
It was a long time
it's one of my
ago. What
favorite
happens?
feats.
Yeah.
It's my
It
favorite
was like
feat.
10 levels ago.
I think the last battle, I asked Rev, like, what are your hit points? He's like, I'm full. Well,
Yeah.
because you can get away from everything.
There, like last battle we had, the only like real damage I got was from taking that damage that would have gone to Bryn. It was basically
yeah.
at full.
Which would have been bad.
Mhm.
Bad.
Anyways.
Cassie, would you
Looking
roll?
at a new skill learn.
I don't know. Am I rolling perception?
Perception. Yeah, well, wisdom. You're rolling wisdom. Rev, I saw your 4 there. You
Mhm.
still also have yet to decide anything, and now you are 2 rolls deep into nothing.
Well, I divide them up. I divide them up because I also spend some on whittling. Although I think I'm probably ready to sell the wood from the Valley of the Storms.
Okay.
Did I ever sell that one? I don't think I sold that one. I think I sold the Fire Forest one, and that's the only one.
Let me see if I have any other. Oh, I had your whittling. You did sell something, and you gave money to Jack. after
Oh, you're
selling
right.
it, your
That
most
was the
recent whittle.
flute. You're right. That was the Valley of the
Oh,
Storms. I did the
yeah.
flute thing with the Valley. It's a lot of sense, right? Like a nice little
Yep.
tweedly-doo thing. Okay, then
That's what he
I
calls Jack in his
took-
private time.
It's twiddly
Yeah.
Wiggly do thing.
I think I'd probably
Jack
call
had
Jack
twiddly
that.
do.
I probably called Jack that to his face, honestly.
Probably.
So, I did take some wood from the dead, the necromantic trees from the Tyrannesti forest,
the
the ones that attacked us.
Oh, did you take it from
Well,
those? I thought you took it from the emerald trees.
Oh, from the.
I think he
Forest
took
of
some
Rainbow.
from both.
Maybe
You're
both.
right. I might have done both.
might have both.
Okay.
Because I remember that.
You have the 2 pieces of various magical elven wood.
Well, I have the one that has the leaves on it. I think I'll start whittling on that one, or
Okay.
I have been whittling on it. So I think it's like
nuts that when we were in the spooky forest is when Rob and I visited you guys last. That didn't seem so long ago.
Spooky?
Spooky forest. But it seems like
So
a
then
really,
that
really long
4, if you're using that 4 for whittling, then it'd be plus 5 for dexterity, so it'd be a 9 then.
okay. And I have an idea. I think I have an idea for what I want my feet to be now.
Okay.
I'll write you on the side.
Sure, no problem. Winry. Very nice.
Boy.
Not finished quite yet, but getting close on yours. I think next time you'll probably wrap things up. And so it is at the end of the week, or the end of the 5 days, you have a meeting prepared. A meeting that is... Oh,
I have one. Sorry, Justin. I do need to get some poisons, and we can tackle that.
in chat is
shopping
fine for that.
In
Yep.
chat. Yep.
Any other shopping that people
I-
are going to do over this time frame, totally fine to
I'm-
do on the side. We'll recap at the start of next episode.
I'm also going to, because I have access to the Lyceum, I'll do some spell copying into my book, but I'll figure that out later.
Yep. And soon enough, it is time for you to join and to head to this Council of War, V2, the second War Council. And when you arrive in the conference
War
room at
Council
the Lyceum
harder.
Academy, you find dozens of major players in this effort gathered together. Your many allies and representatives thereof are present, along with an overwhelming amount of security intended to keep anyone from trying to steal said torch away. By a large table at one end of the room are Headmaster Simeon, Kiernan, and the elderly dwarf commander Xavius Phobane. At nearby tables sit representatives of Dassin, Duke Gallo, Sindare, Ambassador Numhot, his name is, and the Wayfarers Guild Mistress Larkin, with seats reserved for you guys at your own table as well. All the others who are in attendance, and there are still numerous other people in the room, including guards, various swordsmen and sorcerers of said attendees, kind of ring the room. They all sitting or standing around the outside of the room and are also kind of guarding each of the entrances into this room. The most interesting thing that you find when you enter the room is two representatives from a place that you would not necessarily have expected, as there are two monks in black robes from the Monastery of Two Winds. As you enter, everyone tries to call out to you immediately. It's like, let us see the torch, show out this sort of thing. But Simeon said, hold. Nerves are tense right now. And anyone accosting our heroes here will be treated as an enemy and ejected without question. Everyone hold your tongues and hold your tongues.
Like I said,
is the
hold
right
them
way.
good.
Shut up.
The meeting will be
Hold your
started
tongues
shortly.
and hold your asses.
So everyone, if you could please find your seats. Find your seats. And as the meeting room begins to get quiet, as even the side chatter starts to fade away, that is where we are going to end things for tonight. And we will see what this War Council entails for you next time.